Hi, how you going? My name's Elle. I have been really fortunate to be part of today. It's my very first webinar, so bear with me, please. A little about myself. I've been involved in the disability field for 23 years. I started off working in disability, working in sort of residential services, and then I went on to managing a day service for adults with autism. And sort of dual diagnosis, and it was all sort of pre-NDIS. So I ended up moving out of that industry after my daughter was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome at the age of 6, and ADHD as well, and just sort of found working in the industry and sort of being at home as well was quite difficult. Quite a journey being a mum with a daughter on the spectrum. Especially during the teenage years. I think from about 14 to about 17 and a half was probably the most difficult time. And I think sort of she grew to like me a little bit more when she sort of came closer to 18. She's almost 19 now. I've been working in football and had some really amazing opportunities over the last couple of years. My main role is as a football development manager, so working in and around participation and development. And part of that has been working with FEDA, which is the Football Integration Development Association, which is now actually in its 30th year. And I've had some great involvement there, from working with my local clubs as well as being part of sort of the National Inclusion Carnival last year, as sort of Vic Metro coach, alongside with an amazing man and coach within FEDA, Rob Clem from Williamstown Seagulls, who was previously a vice principal at Rosamond School. Part of my role as well around participation and development, I've creating some other initiatives, so making all my Auskick centres to be AAA identified as well. So when I first started, I sort of had 22 centres, none were AAA, went to 2, and sort of going into this year when the season eventually kicks off, I'll have 18 out of the 22 which are AAA identified, and I'll have those other 2 centres working with Bethany Devonish from Deakin University in and around sort of the all play space as well, and working a lot closely with the coaches and the clubs as well around what does sort of inclusion mean. What I've particularly found with working in sort of the football is around the social connectedness that sport brings us all together. And I think particularly with a lot of the participants on the autism spectrum, is actually having that connectedness can be quite hard. And talking to a lot of my sort of participants as well, is that they're finding this time really difficult, particularly around like the social isolation. So some of the initiatives that we're doing is using sort of different apps like Zoom to engage. Also, House Party is another one that's sort of popping up as well. It's a little bit interesting. My kids sort of introduced me to that. The other thing, so Alex Murray is a VFL umpire, and he's also been doing some stuff with some of the participants within FEDA, just around how to improve sport skills generally, which I'll send to Sean to send out. And another great sort of item that my participants have been using as well is the Ross Faulkner One Touch Footy, where it sort of straps on, and participants can sort of use that in their backyard or in the lounge room. And Kelly had some amazing ideas earlier just around sort of adapting different activities. So I think that's it from me as such. So I'll flick it over to Sean now.